By now, if you keep up with the MCU, you know that Robert Downey Jr. has been cast as Doctor Doom. No one saw this coming, except for one Redditor. Initially, I hated this choice, and I'm gonna get into why. I mean, if there was anyone I thought was gonna play Doom, it was not RDJ, and yet here we are. But as I've thought about it more, I've also started to see why it might work. This whole thing is insane. So yeah, Robert Downey Jr. has been cast as Doctor Doom. This came out a little while ago at San Diego Comic-Con, with Robert himself showing up to reveal his casting. As we know, RDJ was previously Iron Man, and he did a phenomenal job. His acting throughout multiple movies was super consistent, and his portrayal of Iron Man was what fans consider to be what held the MCU together. His role as Iron Man ended on a high note that people still look at fondly today, really just seeing him as the heart of the MCU. We got a very good ending to a very good character. But now RDJ is back to act as Doctor Doom, which is getting mixed reactions. Doctor Doom is one of the most beloved villains in pop culture. He's not as much a Marvel legend as he is just a legend in general. Between being a really well-designed character and the persona of MF Doom, he's a character who people really wanted to see portrayed right, and the MCU seemed like the perfect opportunity. With Kang the Conqueror's actor being fired, and his position as the big bad needing to be replaced, people started speculating that there was a good chance that Doom could be introduced. There were many different fan casts that just glowed with potential. Cillian Murphy, Mads Mikkelsen, Sam Witwer. Plenty of actors who could not only play Doom, but also bring their own unique personality to the character. However, instead of literally any new actor, we got RDJ. When I found out this news, I immediately texted the first group chat I could find that this was the dumbest decision I had ever seen. I didn't care what group chat it was, I just had to express my disappointment. There are many layers to why RDJ as Doom shouldn't work. Filming a Doctor Doom portrayed by the same person who played Iron Man is a difficult stunt to pull off, because you have to honor both characters' legacies. Lean too much into connecting Doom to Iron Man, and he's not Doom. Don't give enough connection to Iron Man, and none of it makes any sense. To properly succeed with this casting, the writers must both acknowledge RDJ's previous casting as Iron Man, while also still having enough room to properly adapt comic Doom. If Doom is constantly associated with Tony Stark, or a continuation of his character, you're doing fans of Doom dirty. We want Doom, not evil Iron Man. But at the same time, if you're using RDJ, you can't just pretend his other role doesn't exist. It's super messy just conceptually, and it has to be difficult to write. And the problem is that post-Endgame Marvel has fumbled the bag with easier prompts. For example, adopting MODOK and Taskmaster should have both been easy to do, but both characters were written horribly compared to their comic counterparts. Christian Bale's character should have been pretty easy to succeed with too, and he was incredibly bland and shallow. If Marvel Studios can't do those characters right, how are they gonna pull off this unprecedented strategy, this experimental hybrid? There's so many other variables that you can think of too, like how are the Avengers gonna react to seeing a spitting image of Iron Man? You have to properly have that dynamic written in, because if they don't really acknowledge it, then it's gonna look dumb. But again, you don't want it to be the Tony Stark show. This is supposed to be Doom in the MCU. I think before Love and Thunder, I might have believed that Marvel could do this, but let's be honest, this is a challenge, and Marvel is probably not capable of succeeding at it. Not to mention multiverse fatigue. People don't want to see variants anymore. We want to see grounded characters with stakes. Characters who can't just get replaced with another version of themselves. There was literally just a joke in Deadpool and Wolverine about how multiverse Marvel movies have almost never worked. It's like watching someone fail a Minecraft speedrun 8 times and then they just decide to boot up RL Craft. The other problem is that this decision just reeks of desperation, greed, and laziness. Post-Endgame, the MCU has been a shell of its former self due to the fact that Disney was trying to put out too much content without making sure it was all up to standard. While it has had some highlights, the vast majority of content has mostly been mediocre, and in some cases producing record lows. The good news was that it appeared that the studio was going to pivot and learn from their mistakes, with an apparent direction change towards quality over quantity. This was promising because, in my opinion, Disney's ambition wasn't all that bad. They were greenlighting some pretty cool projects. So if they were going to take a step back and recalculate, better execution could result in some amazing movies. If we kept the same ambition but had more coordination, things could be looking up. Marvel would never be fully back to where it was, but maybe we could get close through doing things at a more steady and calculated pace. However, the RDJ casting just destroys this momentum, because it is effectively a studio-wide regression. I thought Marvel was going to take the mature approach, learn from their mistakes and try again knowing what doesn't work, appreciate the lessons from their shortcomings, and use them to keep building on an ambitious franchise. But instead, they just decided to run back to what they know, like a toddler who tried to explore, stepped on a Lego, and is running back crying to what they know. Like, they seriously had me in the first half. I actually thought that there was going to be some solid reflection and recourse done towards a better future. But no, they freaking hit the panic button. This is like what happens when I tap out at a plank PR. It just has this air of an all too familiar tactic. The way that Disney only greenlights what they know will work. This is how those diehard Star Wars fans felt seeing their favorite characters be reanimated as a Hail Mary for box office money. It's happening to the MCU in a really weird way. It has real jangling keys energy behind it. Taking time to change course from Kang into building up a proper Doom would be awesome. I would love to see multiple movies build up this character, but Marvel doesn't want to do that. So we're getting this as a quick cash grab to put butts in seats. Doom will likely only be in 2 movies, maybe 1, so everything is going to be even more rushed. At the same time, it all feels like a joke that accidentally got through, or a fan casting made by a 14-year-old who also wanted Chris Pratt to be Ghost Rider. And I thought RDJ was tired of being associated with the MCU. He just started to build a new era with Oppenheimer. He put the first brick down, and Marvel came to kick that brick over and say, "You're coming back to work for us." When I see Robert here, I don't see someone who should be portraying Doom. I see the Deep running back to rejoin the Seven. I see that one guy who hangs out at his high school after he graduated. Now, despite those strong opinions, I can also see why this might work. The Russo brothers are returning to write Doom's movie, which is Avengers Doomsday, by the way. That's a good sign. If RDJ Doom was to be done right, it could be amazing. I personally will probably always find it corny though, because at the end of the day, it is still fan service. If done right, who knows? Maybe this could be great. Maybe it'll be the best villain portrayal ever because it has that unique history. Doom could have that unique history of RDJ's portrayal as Iron Man. And you know, it could be super dope. It's just amazing. But that is a super long shot. I just don't think it's going to happen. Like, we've seen so many greater opportunities be fumbled. What's going to make this time different? That's all I really have to say about it on the positive front. I can't really just see why this would work. I mean, it could, anything can happen. There's not a 0% chance that this won't be good. But I really don't think it's going to be good. And I hope I'm wrong. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Please subscribe. This channel is super tiny. So how about you be in the first 100 subscribers? Tell you what, go jump in there. Be in the first 100. Join the 100 club. Thanks for watching. I'm Lufa.